Quality of life is a complex characteristic reflecting the degree of satisfaction of a person with various spheres of his/her life activity. It includes not only material well-being, but also physical health, psychological comfort, social ties, level of education, environmental safety, and the possibility of self-realization. According to the World Health Organization, the quality of life directly affects its duration and general well-being of an individual. People in most cases evaluate separate indicators of happiness, such as wealth, compliance with expectations, their own and others, physical comfort, the ability to compensate for mental deficits, complexes, power, role in society, status, position, and others. But all this in general is called quality of life and is manifested in the form of satisfaction. Today, we will talk in detail about what it is and list the ways to achieve it. Physical health as the foundation of quality of life. Physical health is the foundation on which quality of life is built. Regular medical checkups, a balanced diet, and physical activity help to keep the body toned. For example, studies show that people who exercise at least 3 times a week are less likely to suffer from chronic diseases. Access to health services also plays an important role. In countries with a developed healthcare system, life expectancy is 15 years higher compared to regions where medicine is at a low level. When we talk about accessibility, we don't mean no fees. People don't need free, they need affordable. If in your country it is difficult to visit a doctor, or the quality of medical services leaves much to be desired, but no money is required, you are unlikely to be happy. In developed economies, the doctor is very expensive. Any appeal to a polyclinic or hospital turns into a gigantic expense. Here you have to pay literally for every sneeze. But there is a nuance. Wages allow you to do it. The researchers also came to the conclusion that in addition to the presence of high-class medicine on the index of physical health, is influenced by the availability of sports grounds and equipment, promotion of a healthy lifestyle, fresh food, the absence of chemicals in them, the ease of diagnosis to detect diseases in the early stages. All this together guarantees excellent health and confidence in qualified treatment in case of illness, psychological well-being, and emotional stability. A person's psychological well-being is directly related to quality of life. Stress, anxiety, and depression reduce productivity and overall well-being. To maintain emotional balance, it is important to take time to relax, pursue hobbies, and socialize with loved ones. Meditation and mindfulness practices have proven to be effective in reducing stress levels. In Scandinavian countries, the Lagom philosophy is popular, proven to be effective. According to WHO, people who regularly practice relaxation techniques are 30% less likely to experience mental disorders. Educated and modern people visit a psychologist not at the moment of complete collapse of the emotional state, but on a regular basis. They dispose of negatively colored emotions, get feedback, talk it out, discuss traumatic events. Control over the behavior of destructive elements of society, expressed in the suppression of bullying and mobbing, allows to minimize the pressure on the psyche of a single individual. The educational process includes not only memorizing rules and norms, but also increasing emotional intelligence in order to reduce the toxicity of a person. Life in the society of those who violate other people's personal boundaries, show hidden aggression and contempt for others on the basis of stigmatization, becomes a real hard labor, and there is no need to talk about the quality of life here. Material well-being and financial stability. Income level and economic stability play a significant role in assessing the quality of life. However, it is important to realize that material well-being is not only about high earnings, but also the ability to manage finances wisely. Creating an emergency fund, investing, and budget planning help to reduce financial anxiety. Interestingly, after reaching a certain level of income, further growth of earnings does not always lead to increased life satisfaction. Compensators try to cover their mental anguish with houses, cars, jewelry, and luxury goods, but the further they move in that direction, the more misery falls on their head. Looking at a person who literally bathes in money, we are often mistaken about the quality of his life. As practice shows, incredible luxury most often hides maimed souls of unhappy people. Society is always divided into two categories. The first includes those who do not have enough money for a normal life, and the second includes those who naively believe that money can fix all their psycho-emotional traumas. The third group exists, in which people do not need much. They live within the limits of sufficiency, but they are usually very few. Social ties and sense of belonging. Human beings are social creatures, and the quality of their lives depends to a large extent on their environment. Strong family ties, friendships, moderate conformity, and participation in social activities contribute to a sense of happiness. Research confirms that people with a wide social circle live longer and are less likely to suffer from depression. Volunteering and participating in charitable projects also increase life satisfaction, as they give a sense of importance and usefulness. In a romantic union, basic indicators of communication health such as attention, support, understanding, presence, and caring come to the forefront. Reciprocity remains a key factor. That is, it is not enough to simply receive all of the above. Happy people also give it all away. The quality of life is influenced both by the very fact of communication with a partner, friends, colleagues, and relatives, and by personal boundaries when this communication does not become too much and does not turn into obsessive pestering. Education and personal development. Access to knowledge and opportunities for continuous learning are important components of quality of life. Education not only increases your chances of getting a high-paying job, but also broadens your horizons and develops critical thinking. Modern online courses and additional education programs allow people of all ages to learn new professions and develop skills. When you encounter people whose communication causes discomfort, most often you have to admit that they are uneducated, their thinking is limited, and the only source of knowledge for them is TV. The quality of life of such people is always low, so it is important to take care of your intelligence and the amount of data you consume, otherwise all other aspects of happiness will be unattainable. Ecology and living conditions. Clean air, clean drinking water, and a favorable environment have a direct impact on health and quality of life. Residents of megacities face increased noise levels and polluted air, which negatively affects their well-being. Moving to ecologically clean areas or regular trips to nature can help reduce the harmful effects of the urbanized environment. In countries where attention is paid to environmental programs, the life expectancy of the population is higher by 7 years. That is why all of us are periodically drawn to the countryside, where the air is cleaner and the silence soothes the soul.